Hi, I'm Dave Scott. I haven't delivered a video in quite a while, and I just got a question from an athlete named Twain about cycling and how it relates to possibly Achilles injury. He's a triathlete and has Achilles issue on the run. So Twain, I'm going to try to address your question. I think a lot of us have the same issues. There's a couple things. A lot of times the Achilles can be aggravated on the run because your calf muscles are weak. And so you need to do separate isolated calf exercises. So my suggestion is to stand next to a mirror, in front of a mirror, about a foot away. Put your fingers against the mirror, so light a hold on the mirror. Draw your transverse abdominis in, squeeze your glutes, and come up on a double leg toe stance. Make sure when you're doing this that you don't kick out to the outside. In other words, don't load your little toe or your second toe. The tendency is to kind of supinate your feet, and you want to make sure you come right up over the middle toe and come straight up. Go 8 to 10 reps doing a double leg and come down slowly on a count of 5 on a double leg. If you can do that, then add a secondary set, come up double, shift your weight to your right leg. So all the weight is on your right foot in elevated position, and lower on a count of 5 as well. So you go up double, shift your weight to your right, and come down slowly on a count of 5. And again, you're going to have to watch that foot. Lastly, you can do single leg extensions. Make sure your TA is drawn in, shoulders are lightly retracted, stand tall, and come all the way up, not supinating as you come up. So calf raises, and you can do 2 or 3 sets of what I just described. But again, start off with a double going up and double coming down, and then gradually go to a single. That could be part of your issue. Make sure your toes are open as well. You mentioned that you had trouble on the bike, and those of you that are pushing a really big gear, and Twain, you mentioned you're working at 60 RPMs in a big gear, that puts a tremendous amount of load on your low back, your glutes, your quads, your knee joint, ankle joint, and your feet. And the 60 RPMs is way too rigorous of a race gear. And even on a climb, seated, you should be in the mid to high 60s to low 70s. And for those of you that have a high spin rate when you're on the flat up at 95 or 96, you'll find even going up a gradient that you'll be in the low 80s. So kind of a big range, but we don't want to be down in that low 60 where you're putting a lot of torque on your knee. My suggestion, Twain, for you is to get up in the upper 70s on your climbing, and when you're doing the big gear efforts at this time of the year when you're fit, they should be faster, shorter efforts so you're generating the power output. In other words, if I'm going up a climb, and let's say it's 15 minutes long or sets of 5 times 3 minutes, that you insert 30 to 45 seconds in a bigger gear with a high output. Don't just grind up slowly, because you really want to try to innervate those fast twitch 2A muscle fibers and not just keep innervating the slower ones by doing a slow big gear. That could be irritating your Achilles. And lastly, you want to make sure you check your cleat placement. If the cleat is too far forward on your shoe, you may find that you're flexing your toes, and as you're flexing your toes and dropping your heel a little bit more, that can put more load on the backside on your Achilles and your soleus. So you actually may need to move that cleat forward. So if this is my cleat, and pardon me for my bent little finger here that was caused by a SUV 5 years ago. As you're going forward, you want to make sure that that cleat is not too far forward, that you slide it back just a little bit, and you have good ankle mobility, but you're not flexing your toes over the top. So the cleat position is really vital, and that could be triggering some of your Achilles problems. Lastly, make sure that you're combining seated and standing, so you change that muscle recruitment a little bit. If you're a little bit weak in your knees and you find that they immediately rotate as you're pressing down at 3 o'clock, that could put more stress on your Achilles as well. So I hope that helps. That was a long-winded answer for a number of variables that you have. I'll be back, Twain, and I love all your questions, so send them my way. Just go to my website. We'll see you.